Hey y'all, welcome to Mindful Eating Monday. My name's Melissa. I am a registered dietitian nutritionist with Student Nutrition Services, and we have created this series for Mindful Eating Monday for every Monday in the month of April at 12:30 p.m. So you can join us live or you can join us on the replay. I'm going to put the pin in the comments. So if you log into pin, you can get attendance by joining this event. I will also put the pin in the replay. So we're just gonna sit together as a virtual community, and I will guide you through mindful eating. So if you have not already, go ahead and grab your lunch or snack or whatever time it is. Grab some food, make sure that you have a beverage nearby, and we're just gonna take this time as a community to eat together mindfully. And so in order to do that, we'll start first with a few breaths to ground. So maybe closing the eyes and taking a few breaths. And if you are a person of prayer, you can use this time to pray or give thanks for your food. And then when you're ready, when you've finished your prayer, when you've finished taking your deep breaths, go ahead and come back into awareness. And before we begin, we will do a little bit of a body scan, assess our hunger. So if we're thinking about a scale of 1 to 10, and 5 is neutral, like I'm not hungry, I'm not full. 5 is neutral. 10 is like most full I've ever been. And a 1 is like, oh my gosh, the most hungry I've ever been. Think about where we sit today on that scale, right? So again, 5 is neutral. 10 is like the most full I've ever been. 1 is like the most hungry I've ever been. And so think of where you are on that scale. And so for me, I feel like I'm somewhere between a 3 and a 4, right? So I'm getting hungry. My stomach's growling. I have an appetite. So that's where I'm at. So that's kind of my baseline as to where I'm at in this meal. So when you're ready, we'll go ahead and start with the first bite. Of course, the first step to mindful eating is to look at our food, to see what it is, maybe move it around a little bit, smelling the aromas, opening up the senses, getting our body ready to eat, right? Stimulating that parasympathetic nervous system, that rest and digest. And then when you have a bite ready, go ahead and just place it close to your nose, smell it, and then go ahead and take a bite. Chewing the food slowly. Maybe counting 10 to 20-ish chews. Noticing the texture or the sounds. I just ate a cucumber, so it's very crunchy. And so I like hearing that sound. And then we'll do that again just a little bit. Maybe just a little bit faster. So looking at our food, grabbing a bite, smelling it, taking some chews. noticing the flavors. And then with mindful eating, it's really helpful to put your fork down in between your bites, to focus on chewing, to focus on the flavors and the sensations and the sounds, and then just to connect with your body. So we'll continue eating. I'm gonna go ahead and mute myself so you don't have to listen to my chewing, but walk yourself through this mindfully, right? Eat it, taking a bite, chewing it while you put your fork down, and then picking up the fork after you've chewed and swallowed. Of course, drinking water in between. So I'm gonna go ahead and mute myself and we'll just eat as if we were at the table together. And then if you're just joining us, we are practicing some mindful eating. And for those who are on the call in the virtual community, know that if there's like some emotion or some feeling coming up, know that that's okay. And it takes time to build this relationship with food and to get into the mindful eating, and just know that it's part of the process. So it's okay if emotions are coming up. If for any reason you feel like they are too overwhelming, you can always turn this off and come back to it at a later time. And then of course know that you have the counseling center at Georgia State as support for you. So I'll go ahead and mute myself again, and we'll just continue to eat together as a community. So we have a little bit more time left, but I thought that now would be a good time to just scan the body again and see where we're at on the scale. From 1 to 10, right? If 5 is neutral, I'm not hungry, I'm not full. And a 10 is like most full I've ever been. A 1 is like most hungry I've ever been. Where are we at? Where are we at? 5 is neutral. 10 is most full I've ever been. 1 is most hungry I've ever been. And it might be difficult to detect, and that's okay. It takes time to kind of tune into those hunger fullness cues, or tune into the intuitive eating, the mindful eating. So I would say I started at maybe like a 3, 3.5. I would say that I'm probably about a 4. So I'm still pretty hungry, maybe a 4.5, getting a little bit closer to the neutral. But I'm going to switch over into my cashews. So I'm going to switch because I feel like these are going to satisfy me. And then see if you can tune back into the flavors, right? Notice your speed. See if you can tune back into what's going on now. If your mind is wandering off, what's going on now? Come back to this moment, right? Coming back to the senses, looking at our food, smelling our food, tasting our food, and the sensations that are going on inside our mouths. The sounds of the chewing. And again, remembering to put the fork down, or maybe place your hands in your lap in between bites so that we can fully chew before we reach for our food. And so we're getting close to the end of our time. Feel free to continue your lunch at your leisure. If you are finished, don't forget to log into PIN, and I appreciate your time, and I appreciate you joining me and eating lunch together. We will be doing this again next Monday, and every Monday through the end of April at 12:30. So feel free to log in, say hi. And then, of course, you could always catch the replay. So I will say thank you to everybody, and I'll see you next week.